We've all heard the song by Chris Brown, "These hoes ain't loyal," but the truth is the hoes ain't loyal and neither are the jobs. So you shouldn't remain committed and loyal to a company because it's very disposable. They treat you like you're disposable, and we're going to cover that in this video.
Today we're going to take a look at why company loyalty is a complete and utter joke. I work for money. If you want loyalty, get a dog.
So that's the first little point there, right? Because, you know, when you're working for a company, they act like you're a slave to them. You have to be this diehard loyalist, repeat all the company values, like your personal values, sacrifice your time, energy, and spirit for this company that really sees you as they can get rid of you the moment you show any sign of not, pledging your undying loyalty in your life down for the company. So that's something worthwhile to bear in mind. Company loyalty is a one-way street. They want you to be loyal to them, but they're not loyal to you.
This dude here, it says 10 years, 80% of my corporate experience, 28% of my life. Big thank you to my family, colleagues, customers, partners, and the company. I would never in a million years brag about spending 28% of my life at a company on social media. And this is what he gets. This is what he gets, a 10-year in recognition of your 10 years of service and some chocolates. See, to me, I would rather get nothing than get something this petty. Now, I'm not saying I'm entitled to anything more than a paycheck just for doing my job. My paycheck is enough. If you want to reward me, then actually reward me with something and show me that you care. This doesn't show me that you care. This shows that you're checking the box that HR said to do for appreciate your employees and they'll work harder.
So when you look at this gift pack, after working at a company for decades, 10 years in this case, it really shows you how little they value you. If I was working for a company for 10 years, I would think give me a one-off bonus, at least, higher bonus, for those 10 years of commitment. Because when you're loyal to a company, you're effectively reducing your value in the marketplace, unless you're in a very senior role. Because it shows you're kind of dependent on that one company. You might not be able to build that type of reputation at another company. You're too dependent on essentially one company being loyal to you, which is not going to be the case over the long term. I know people who've lost their job after 10 years at major banks such as Goldman Sachs, 15 years, at Morgan Stanley, things like that. And it's like, it really shows you how disposable a company thinks they are. They thought they might have had jobs for life, but that doesn't always work out. Now, when they give you this type of rubbish gift pack, and I've seen these type of employee awards and gift packs and these small little bottles of champagne and things like that, it's completely pointless. And it just these things probably cost the company. They probably buy them in bulk because they know how many employees are going to be there for 10 years. So it's just like some Ferrero Rocher, some chocolates and a small award, and I don't know what the other thing is, like a gift card, right? This probably cost them in total, given they buy these in bulk, maybe I would estimate $30. And it's like, they'd rather give you this cheap trash $30 award than give you $3,000 bonus, which I think would be fair in this economy. $3,000 isn't worth that much for a major company like Bosch, which you can see here. So, I mean, what they should do is offer you some kind of additional commitment if it's not money, like some level of job stability. Like if you continue at the same performance level, we guarantee your job for the next 5 years, things like that. Because people want job stability, they want additional income, they want additional financial security. No one really cares about essentially, making a bit more of getting a box of chocolates. That's not really going to pay the bills.
A major congratulations, 10 years with us. You get a breakdown of how much of your life has been wasted in this cubicle. 120 months, 521 weeks, 3,652 days, 87,648 hours, 5,258,800 minutes has been spent at this company. I just don't think life was meant to be lived this way. Let me make it clear. We're not making fun of the people here. It's just the companies and how they are rewarding and congratulating you. For what? What are you congratulating me for? Showing up to work to do my job? I don't get it. Congratulations, we didn't fire you?
So it's worthwhile bearing in mind when you see these people who have worked at these companies, and examples I focused on here, so people who've worked for companies for over 10 years, it's like those years go by quite quickly. I've worked in the finance industry for over 10 years, as you can see here at some of these companies. It goes by incredibly quickly. Certain years blur together because you're just so busy focused on the work. And then you realize, okay, how much money have you earned and how much you've been able to save and invest. And how much time are you burning of your prime years, right? You'd rather have more years to live your life how you want when you're younger versus when you're older at retirement age, where you probably can't do some of the fun things you want to do. So it's best not to waste your life, best to focus on really building a life that you enjoy and having a career that supports that. And in some cases, that could mean working part-time, working on a contract basis or a freelance basis, and then spending time to travel and do what you want to do. But don't waste your life away decade after decade in a corporate job that is not loyal to you, as we can see from these cases. They could fire them at any moment, right? And sometimes I see these people who are middle-aged, maybe in their mid to late 40s, in their 50s, older guys like this. Would they be able to find another job? They've been so loyal to this company. If this company fires them tomorrow, they're not going to be able to find another job, I would say, in a lot of cases. And they'll probably have to live off their savings and investments and maybe get some kind of part-time job. Probably doing something for much less pay. So just bear that in mind, right? If all the company has to offer you after 10 years is not a commitment they're going to hire you for the next five years and keep your job safe, but all they're going to offer you is just some trash plaque like this, just listing you've been working there for 10 years, it shows you how little they value you. Just always, anytime you get an award from your company, don't think about, okay, I've got an award, they value me. Think about, okay, how much did this award actually cost? Probably $10-15. So that's how much they value your commitment and your loyalty, which isn't very much.
Here's another one where this person is celebrating 10 years and they give her a clock. Great, now you can watch your life tick away. If you're one of those people who absolutely enjoys your job, congratulations. But what I'm trying to do in this video is create some urgency to respect your time. Because these people's lives are just going by in their corporate cubicles. And it's just, to me, it just seems scary. This scares me. It scares me for people that go in and just accept that this is their life.
So here we've got, other people who've been working. I think the example you just seen was for 10 years, and this is, 35 years at this particular company. The point is here is that essentially you need to respect your time, as he's saying. You need to understand the urgency of getting your life together and organizing in a way that you are independent of this system that is not looking out for your best interest, and of the company that is not looking out for your best interest. Because I've seen people who've been working quite high-paying jobs, like salespeople working on the sales and trading floor of HSBC. They're doing well, they're making a lot of money, then they got laid off, and then they're struggling to find the next option, because the finance industry is hyper competitive in corporate jobs, but also in many ways it is shrinking, is outsourcing some of the work. There are less kind of sales roles, so then they have to make a lateral move to another industry, maybe help with on a franchise of CrossFit gyms. I've known 2 or 3 people who've done that after struggling in the finance industry to find their next job halfway through their career. There's other people that I've seen who, a lot of these people that you see on your screen right now, they're the type of people that you would get assigned if you're more junior as your mentor, right? And it's like, I look at these people and I've had dealt with some kind of strained relationships with career mentors in these corporate environments where it's like, I'm dealing with a mentor who's like maybe a man in his 40s, and I can't look at him as someone I aspire to be. I don't see them as a mentor. I see them as like a warning sign that I don't want to do this job forever, right? I want to find something that actually works for me and works for myself and my personal life goals, which isn't being a 40-something-year-old man answering to a girl boss who's younger than you, who's been fast-tracked through the promotion process due to DEI and these feminist hiring and promotion requirements. You'll deal with a man who's like 45 years old, who's highly skilled, and his manager is a woman in her early 30s who essentially, sucked up to middle management. Like I say, got that fast track of promotion because they wanted to put more women in management positions. And she doesn't know what she's doing. And she's kind of highly dependent on the 5 middle-aged men who are a decade or 2 older than her, who are more junior than her, to do her job. So she'll be a managing director, and then she'll be a 34-year-old managing director. And then she'll have 5 men who are like between 45 and 50 who will be her junior executive directors, that's the job titles, and she'd be dependent on them to do all the actual work and give her all the advice and basically do all the work for her, and then she just goes and presents it to senior management because they want a feminist woman in a position of power. These are things that are quite, you see quite often. And I always think, I don't want to be one of those guys. I don't care how much they're getting paid, because some of them were getting paid at the time double my salary, I would estimate. And I'm just like, that's no way to live life. That's not a dignified way to live a life as a man over the long term. If it's a short-term stint, then okay, until you can figure out your own thing. I would rather just work and figure out my own thing. So you've got to really think these things through so you don't get exploited. A lot of these people are getting exploited. Other examples to mention here is I remember working at another company, another bank, and some of the co-workers, they were working there for 2 to 3 years. I think they ended up leaving after 5 years or so. They made a small mistake and they essentially got told to leave the company because they were doing great work, but you make one small mistake and they just want to get rid of you. But anyway, he was working there, and I remember speaking to him, and like he was talking about how 2 or 3 years of his life had been a blur while he was working there, even though he enjoyed working there. He had a daughter, didn't have much time to spend with his kids or his wife. And it's like it went by in a blur, and I'm like, that's no way to live life. I understand everyone's got to, earn a living and make money somehow, but if you're just living your life in a blur, working a high status, high paying job, it kind of doesn't make sense. Is that really living life? I don't think it is. And what you should understand is if you're in these environments for the majority of your time, majority of your days, and you socially feel out of place, you're not comfortable at work, you always kind of feel at threat that if you have a different opinion, you might be treated unfairly, things like that. It's really taxing on your system, and you're thinking, why are you being loyal to a company where, you might be disadvantaged if you're a man, and as I say, they have feminist hiring targets, or you have a different opinion that's more conservative and you have this woke culture in your workplace. It's incredibly stressful for people to deal with over the longer term, and this is really a warning sign for people who are of a younger age where you can save and invest more money so you can retire early and have more flexibility and power over your life. Don't get too caught up chasing the corporate rat race that kind of doesn't pay off because their loyalty will not be reciprocated.
Here's another one. This dude spent 30 years of dedication and dependability. I'm 30 years old right now. If I were to have to live my entire life over at this company working, and if I got to where I'm at right now in life and I got a fucking paper with a star on it, there's no way I'd be smiling. I just couldn't. I just wouldn't be able to do it. I just couldn't do it. There's no way. I hope that you are happy in life, and I hope that you can do something with that plaque. I wish Dayton or whatever, I hope you rewarded this man. And you know what's funny is that I bet the CEO of this company is probably like 35 years old. That's the kicker that always gets me. The dude above you actually making all the money is usually like half the dude's age of.
So he's mentioning a similar point, and he worked in the tech industry, and he's referring to some of these examples of other companies outside of finance, right? Now, what you should really take into account the years, the decades, the age you want to achieve certain life goals not related to your job, how long it takes to get a promotion. Some companies I worked at, they just have some completely blasé rule of like never ending work until you get a promotion. Sometimes, between one promotion at the next, it's 3 years. Sometimes it's 6 years. It's completely ridiculous. I can give you an example of someone who went from analyst between 20 and 35. They get promoted from analyst to associate to like director, vice president level to executive director to managing director. So they got like 6 promotions in the space of like 15 years. And then there's someone else who essentially got promoted in like a lot slower pace, essentially, right? By the time they were 40, they were still more junior than someone who is 35. And like I say, that's where the favoritism does come in. And that's where you really got to consider, are you being treated unfairly? Are you going to keep playing in this unfair game of company loyalty that more often than not does not pay off? It only pays off for a handful of people who really fit well in the corporate environment. And this is kind of a sad image to think about. You're working hard all these years just to retire when the retirement age is being extended. And what will your retirement consist of? Sitting in one of these, old people's homes once you've worked really hard to earn money that you can't really enjoy. So really think carefully about your life and why you're being loyal to a company that you're just a cog in a machine. Even say I've worked at some of these companies. I offer a career advice service. If you'd find that helpful, there is a link in description to speak with me directly. And leave a comment below and let me know about your experience of company loyalty. How much time have they wasted trying to feed you the corporate Kool-Aid, and how have you rejected it? That's an interesting conversation to have in the comments section. Also, there are 2 recommended videos on your screen right now, and I'll see you next time.